In the state of Maharashtra, there is a district called Satara, and in that district, there is a small town named Fulton, where a government hospital is located, and in that hospital, a doctor named Drive. Sampada Mund works. She comes from a poor family background and struggled a lot to study medicine and become a doctor, and today she works in that same government hospital. In fact, she is the first doctor from her native village, and she is known for being very honest and dedicated to her work, always treating patients with sincerity and responsibility. She handles emergency patients, conducts post-mortems, and also provides fitness certificates. Many times the police bring accused individuals to her, and she is responsible for examining them and issuing proper medical certificates. Because of this, her work involves frequent interaction with police officers and politically influential people, and over time many of them try to pressure her to alter medical reports or issue false certificates. Sometimes they even threaten her. But despite all this, she remains an extremely honest person. She firmly stands by her principles and clearly tells them that she cannot change results under any pressure and that she will only give honest and accurate medical reports no matter who is involved. Among those people, one particular inspector named Gopal had repeatedly tried to influence her, but every time she refused, saying it was not possible, and because of this, both of them started disliking each other. Meanwhile, Sampada was staying in an apartment near the hospital, and the owner's son, Prasanna, who is a software engineer, was also living there. Initially both of them were good friends, but later Sampada directly asked him if he would marry her. However, Prasanna refused, and the exact nature of their relationship remains unclear. At the same time, this Inspector Gopal once came to the hospital while she was working in the emergency ward and openly threatened her before leaving, and this incident was witnessed by many people present there. For nearly 6 months, Inspector Gopal had been continuously harassing Sampada, and during this time he had behaved inappropriately with her multiple times. Unable to tolerate it anymore, she finally filed a complaint with the hospital management and a senior doctor, but instead of supporting her, they sided with the police and politically influential people and told her to do whatever they asked. This pushed Sampada into severe depression. She didn't know what to do. The hospital management and other doctors started putting more pressure on her. Either she had to resign from her job or obey the police. They deliberately increased her workload, forcing her to handle multiple post-mortems on dead bodies even when she said she couldn't manage it. But with no other option, she continued doing it. She had no peace in the hospital, and when she thought she might at least find peace at home, even there Prasanna started threatening her, both mentally and in ways related to her work. The exact nature of their relationship is still unclear and not officially recorded anywhere, but he too was adding to her suffering. She was under extreme stress 24 hours a day, and finally, in this situation, she filed a complaint at the police station against Inspector Gopal and the hospital management, but shockingly, instead of taking action, the police filed a case against her, accusing her of delaying medical certificates for accused individuals and not properly conducting post-mortems. She had been in deep depression, and in this situation, on October 23, 2025, she checked into a hotel. The exact reason is unclear. Maybe she didn't feel comfortable going back to her apartment, or perhaps she wanted to stay near her workplace, but after checking in, even after 12 hours, she did not open the door. The hotel staff repeatedly called out to her but got no response. Eventually they used a spare key to open the room, and the moment they stepped inside, everyone was shocked. Sampada was found hanging from the ceiling fan using a bedsheet. She had died by suicide. Immediately the police were informed and called to the scene. The police arrived and began inspecting the room, searching for any evidence or a suicide note to determine whether it was a murder or suicide. They then recovered her body, and what they found was chilling. Written on her hand was a message stating that the reason for her suicide was the continuous torture given by the police officer Gopal and Prasanna. It was clearly written as a strong accusation. After this, the police also checked for any signs of forced entry or external involvement, but there were no signs of forced entry and no suspicious fingerprints were found. Based on this, they concluded that it was a suicide. However, since she had clearly mentioned two people as the reason behind her death, once this news broke, both of them went into hiding and escaped. The police launched a search operation for both of them and formed multiple special teams. First, they managed to track down Prasanna and took him into custody. Meanwhile, Inspector Gopal, being a police officer himself, knew that he couldn't escape for long, so he eventually surrendered. During the investigation, Gopal admitted that he had issues with Dr. Sampada but denied any involvement in rape, and instead blamed Prasanna, saying he was the reason behind her suicide. On the other hand, Prasanna blamed Gopal, claiming that the police officer's harassment drove her to take this step. Both of them kept accusing each other, but the evidence against them was strong. The message written on her hand clearly mentioned both of their names. There were eyewitnesses in the hospital who had seen Gopal threatening her. There were formal complaints filed against both the police and hospital management, along with phone call records and messages supporting her claims. And importantly, just before her death, her last phone call was made to Prasanna. Considering all this evidence, the police arrested both of them and charged them under IPC Section 376 and IPC Section 306.